Welcome to the lounge and the ASX 200 here, and I just want to go back over the this bigger picture here, just so we're clear on it and we know where we're sort of heading with this. So now it's possible that let's just start from here. Wave 3 here, an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here for wave 4, okay? And then if that is wave 4, then we can look for 5 waves down here for wave 5, which will be over here, okay? So this is one of the accounts that we're looking at, and within from wave 4 to wave 5 here, we'll be looking for 5 waves, which is 1 and 2, and we have 5 waves down here for wave 3. And wave 4 would pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, and then see 5 waves move down here. And if that's the case, if we get that 5 waves down here, then we have 5 waves at this point here, and this would end a larger structure. So from this point, we would see a much larger move to the upside. So that's one scenario. The other scenario is that we actually have wave 5 in over here, and in this still wave 3 here, but an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here for wave 4 here, and then down for wave 5 here at this point, and then this is the low. And if this is the low of 5 after 5 waves, we get an ABC correction, don't we? So then that would make this the A wave here, this one here the B wave, and a B wave's always in 3 waves, and that means we have 3 waves here. We have 1, 2 and 3 here, so that would make wave B here. And then if that's wave B, then we would be looking for 5 waves up here, a move roughly the same length as wave A here, moving up here in 5 waves. So that's what we're trying to figure out. Now, with that said and done, in both cases, this bullish move here and also this wave 4 to wave 5 bearish move, in the same thing, we're going to get in both cases, we're going to get a move up here, and that's what we got. You know, the question is that does it fail from here, or does it move on up from here? That's the question that we need to figure out, okay? Now, this wave 4, if that's the case, then, you know, as I mentioned, it would pull back 38.2%, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and we can also take on board the 5,100, that number there. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at, really. So that's what we have to figure out. So with that, let's just cut into the 15-minute chart and shoot the breeze on this one here. So this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So this was roughly the target area here. It can be lower for the 38.2 retracement levels close to here as well. Now, if this was going to be a wave 4 up here, should have that. Reconfigure that as well. Yeah, an ABC, that's okay. So it would be wave 4 of this degree, and I'll just dull that out there as an alternative count now. So it would be, let's move that there. So it would be, this is wave C here, so this would be a wave A, B and C wave here for wave 4. So technically, counting this structure up here, then this top here could be wave C of 4 here, okay? And this is where it could fail from and just move down from here. Now, in both cases being bullish going up here, and also bearish coming down here, we can expect a correction at 5-1. So we shouldn't jump the gun and conclude anything that it's going to be bullish or bearish just yet. We knew that we'd be moving up here, and if you want to take profit up here, that's fine, or exit or whatever, that's all good too. If not, leave the stop well out of the way here. So that's really what we need to sort of do, and we need to discuss this further. Now, okay, we start talking about other elements now, and one of the things is that well, Tuesday is a little bit like Wednesday. If Friday and Monday been bullish, then Tuesday we get profit taking in the morning, and then the trend resumes in the afternoon, and once it's done. And that's what happened, because we had this move down through here on Tuesday morning, and then the move up here. Now, I find Wednesdays the same, and I call it a V-shaped day. Tuesday's just smaller, Wednesday's bigger, and that's in a bullish market. So Wednesday, I was thinking, we get the same sort of pattern. So if I can just bring it here, we get this down in the morning session, and then later on we get a high during the day. So it's just like Tuesday, but just sort of a bit bigger. So that's what I was kind of thinking in the bullish weekly cycle. Secondly, the pattern that we have here is there's two types of patterns. I know it probably sort of bore you to death, but the classic trading levels pattern, if this is 5,100 here, we have the arrival, the reaction, then the first high above the level, then some type of correction here, and then we move up from there. The other pattern is the overshoot pattern, where the market doesn't stop here and just moves straight through it, and then finally runs out of steam, and then swings low. Now, normally I find the distance above here that it goes will be the distance that it will go below here. So in this case, we can look for a move from, it just didn't stop here and went up to basically the 130 area. So we can look at 28, 30 points here. So we could do that the same here. We could say, well, that swing would come down to, well, let's just say group 2 here. That'd be 20 or 30 points here at 50.5072. That's the sort of area that we're looking at. So I was thinking that we would get some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave down into this area, and then we could be moving long from that point there. Now, if you see this occurring here and then get support on 5-1, then you can go long from that point, okay? If it doesn't come back and get support on 5-1, then you know that you're still in the danger zone, and it can fail. And yes, it once it does this ABC thing here, it can come back. It will come back up here in both cases and retest that 5-1. But that's the point, the critical point where it could fail from. Do you know? So that means that support on the 5-1 after it tests lower here is really critical for what you're looking for. So in this pattern here, we'd want to see it will come back up and test it. It's going to react there. If it can create a move above the level again, it's also going to come back and test it again. And you just have to be patient until you can see it and you get these sort of highs here that you can use as reference points, and then move up in there or add to positions from that point. So the other point is that the European markets are looking quite bullish, but they can be expected to be pulling back because they've actually had 5 waves up. Now, I can't really count 5 waves up here. It just counts better with 3 waves up here. And if I look at some of the other markets, for instance, let's look at Hong Kong, Hang Seng here for a moment. I'll just clean this up a little bit here. So let's just cut to a 15-minute chart and have a look here. So this kind of bothers me a little bit here, and this is what I'm seeing in China as well and things, is that I can see here that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So we've got 5 waves here, but we've also got this 1 and 2 here. So this can be an A wave, a B wave, and 5 waves for the C wave, and finish there. And we've got this impulse wave down here. We've got this corrective wave here. I can even see little 5 waves in here. So it's possible now. This can be an A and a B and a C wave here, and work lower from here. Okay, I would need to see a move above here for this to to continue bullish here, and then this would make this a 4th wave here. So 1, 2, 3. A, B, and C for the 4th wave here, and then a move up here. So once that's triggered there, then I know that we've got a bullish move. And I don't mean just a bullish move in terms of, this little wave here. I'm talking 1, 2, 3, A, B, C for 4 here, up for 5 here. Then we'll have an A and a B and a C here, and then we'll have another sequence to the upside, and then it will continue to the upside from that point there as well. But if it doesn't get past here, this is the risk zone that we're talking about, and our markets are just the same as this as well. And I can look at the other Asian markets and tell you the same story as well here. So there is bullish potential. And when you look at the US market, you would think that we are looking at a bullish potential for Asia as well. But I need to collect the evidence and put things in place and then look at probabilities for things to happen and occur and what not, and that's what we're doing here. So so I do want to clean this up here in case I forget to come back to this chart. It's not one that I normally label at this degree of structure for this market, so I just need to clean it up a little bit. There's only a certain memory these things can hold. So that's the picture there. So you can keep an eye on this as well. So we're just a rock in a hard place. Now, I want to go back over to our local banks, and that I'm not in love with CBA, but I do love it. It's a nice standard sort of. It can hold the market really quite well and hold itself together quite well and not being influenced by other situations. Now, yesterday we're looking at this low being in here and understanding that this move here, whichever way I look at it, to this one, whichever way I look at it, it's this move to here is corrective. So I always figured that would make a new high above here, and this here appeared to be reasonably impulsive in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and then an ABC back. So I was figuring it was going to go up, and the same thing again. So it's going to muck around a lot here. It won't work just like that, but it should continue higher from this point here. But at the same time, this low needs to stay in place, and realistically this low here needs to stay in place. So as long as CBA stays above 75, then we're all we have to play the upside for this market, and that's that keeps it bullish. So that if that gets breached here at any point, then that things aren't looking so rosy. Okay, well that's really about it. Really, it's just sort of shooting the breeze on this, and we talked about it yesterday. I'll just go back to the ASX chart here. So we talked about the bigger picture of this being corrective up until this point here. And realistically, I don't have any evidence of a market that can move higher, except that we've got the US doing the right things. This structure here is also more predominantly impulsive, and the reason for that is that when you're looking at an A and a B and a C correction, or you're looking at it in the other way, an A and a B and a C correction here, there's normally some relationship between the A wave and the C wave here in terms of equality. A wave and C wave normally sort of have the same sort of time and length and those sorts of things. There's certain personalities with those structures as well. But what we're looking at here, if I call that the A wave here and the B wave here and the C wave here, well, the C wave is like really got no equality whatsoever with wave 1 here, has it? So that really puts it into a bullish mode, an impulse mode rather. So yeah. Anyway, so there is probability that the market will continue higher, and we can also expect swings through Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, if Wednesday creates a new high, because Wednesday can create the high of the week, so to speak, the midweek high, I call it. So that could finish off wave 3 here to wave 4, then to wave 5. Thursday could give us the corrective ABC here. So if we've got wave 3, 4, and 5 here, which would make a larger wave 1, then we'll have an A and a B and a C wave. And then Friday and Monday will be the bullish days again. So if you can accommodate any of this and got the intestinal fortitude to get through it, then you could be seeing the next degree higher, and that's where this is the point where it takes courage to stay in the market, stay in the trend, and get through these humps, these roller coasters, these big numbers, and that's the way that I'm looking for it to play out. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, but at the end of the day, it is about managing your risk. So don't let that get out of control. That means you need to reduce position sizes or take a bit of profit and do this and do that, and there's a lot that you can do. You don't need to have one position. You can split that up a bit. All right, that's enough. Cheers.